Welcome back to the last lesson in this Gentle Awareness Through Movement series in the Feldenkrais Awareness Summit. I'm Dorothy Henning, and you can learn more about me and my Feldenkrais practice at integrativemovement.us. This lesson is titled Daydreaming, Mind Wandering for a Healthy Mind. Please lie down on your back, on a mat on the floor or on your bed. Arrange something under your head if you like. Elongate your legs, or you may bend your knees if this is more comfortable. As we have been doing in other lessons, and as we do in many of Feldenkrais Awareness Through Movement lessons, take a moment now to sense how you are lying on the floor or bed, so that later in the lesson, in the near future, you may think back on this past moment to compare and sense any changes. Where is your back making contact with the floor or bed? Is there a difference between the right shoulder and the left shoulder, and how the shoulder blades touch the surface? And your arms, how are they lying? Sense your legs touching on the surface, your thighs, calves, and heels, the weight of your head. Can you gently release yourself into that support, believing it is there, and then sensing this support as it almost seems to come up and allow you to sink in. Now I would like to share an idea with you. Have you ever taken a walk or just been lying down and your mind wanders? Does this seem familiar? You may jump forward in time, wondering how a certain event will go, imagining what will happen. Perhaps you connect this to an event in the past, a few years ago, and you compare the two. Then you effortlessly jump to another event a few days ago. You jump forward and back in time very quickly and effortlessly. And all the pleasant or unpleasant emotions this evokes are momentarily experienced. You compare, you gently reflect, and this is called cognitive time travel. Of course, we mostly know it as daydreaming, mind wandering. Scientists who were doing research in the early 90s discovered that when we are resting, this is when our brain is the most active. So when we are not doing anything and our brain is left to its own devices, it time travels. This helps us reflect and problem solve. And also, scientists discovered later that there is an association between this cognitive time travel, in other words, daydreaming, and our brain maintaining plasticity into adulthood and as we age. So now let's do some movement to continue exploring this idea. Please roll to your side. Either side is fine, you choose. And stack your legs one on top of the other, bending your knees at a 90-degree angle to your trunk, more or less. Letting your comfort be your guide. And please rest the hand of your top arm somewhere on the bed or floor in front of you, where it is comfortable. Allow the hand to soften and take the shape of the surface it is touching. And now you're going to do a few movements in your imagination. You won't be actually moving, but imagining what the movement may be like, imagining what it may be like in the very near future when you will do this movement in reality. Begin gently moving the hand on the surface that you're touching, just exploring maybe a little toward the head, a little down. If you notice that the arm is in the way, imagine how you feel the surface of going over the arm. And as we imagine, often we visualize to imagine, but we also can use our other senses. And in this case, you imagine the touch and the feeling under your hand, the movement of the elbow as your arm explores a bit the surface. Noticing what you're feeling at your shoulder as perhaps your arm goes a little closer towards you and then a little further away. Imagining the texture of what you are touching and how it changes as you move the hand. Sense also inside of you how you may feel the surface changing against your ribs there, the ribs on the underside inside of you as you move the hand. Can you imagine the shoulder blades sliding as you move the hand and the ribs on the top side? Feel the side of your face and how this contact rose slightly and changes. If you find you are not really imagining what I am describing, don't worry. Just hear it as a story. A story of sensing how you may roll a little forward on your underside ribs and hip as your hand slides forward. Enjoy the ease of the movement, how easy it is, how the joints move fluidly, your face is soft. Observe your breathing as you move. And now rest. Even in our imagination, we must rest. Rest your imagination concentration. Let your thoughts go. Sense this echo of your imaginary movement as you rest. And now, I invite you to do this movement in reality. So begin to explore the surface in front of you on the floor or bed with your hand of the arm that's on top. And as you do so, can you think back to the very recent past and how it was to do this movement in your imagination? How does it compare with that experience? Feeling the surface that your hand is moving on, how the shoulder moves, how your hand conforms to everything it touches, how your breathing can support the movement, and comparing. And then leave this and roll onto your back. And get comfortable on your back. Elongate your legs, or bend your knees if that is more comfortable. And let your mind go back in time to when you first were lying down and how you felt the contact at that time. Comparing how it feels behind your shoulders, the left and the right, behind your pelvis and your hips, your thighs, your calves and heels, the weight of your head. How do you allow yourself to sink into the surface now? So really with ease and effortlessly, we can go forward and back in time. And as it's been known to encourage or have an association with maintaining this idea of plasticity in our mind, of neuroplasticity, the capacity for the brain to change at any age and under any circumstances, to adapt, to learn. So maybe it may be a good idea to have a little daydreaming, a little time for this carved out in our day, because we can improve at this. So often our time can be filled by the fact that we have this little device in our pocket. It's like it's a computer as well as a phone. And although they say sometimes this can make us not focus well, this actually may be a bit too much focus. So maybe you could find a little time where there isn't this focus on anything. Time to sit under a tree or lie down and daydream. I hope you have enjoyed this Gentle Awareness Through Movement series and all of the Feldenkrais Awareness Summit. And for those who are new to Feldenkrais, I hope this marks the beginning of embarking on an exciting journey of discovery and possibility. Because as Feldenkrais said, movement is life. Without movement, life as we know it is unthinkable. Thank you.